Hi guys.
Hello everyone.
Welcome back to Metien Vlogs.
Karibu sana.
We are happy to have you here. We are Metien, Mertin and Adrian.
Yes.
We are a couple living here in France, and today we have an interesting topic for you on our experience having been married for 1 year now.
Yeah.
We actually
1 year.
Yeah, we actually clocked 1 year in
March.
March.
End of March.
Yeah. So we just thought about the things that have been very, very important milestones for us, and we think that it's helpful for couples out there, either if you're married or dating or looking forward to being married in future. This is going to be very applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
It's good. The first point we can talk about, marriage is a serious commitment, is the ultimate commitment, because you are making your own family.
Yeah.
Like it said in Genesis 2:24, the son is leaving
Their
parents and become one
with the wife.
with the wife.
Yeah.
So you are one, your wife is one, and together
You form a family.
you form a family, your own family.
Yeah.
So that's the ultimate commitment for me.
Yeah, and it sinks in more the more you live together. Like in the beginning, it's just that you feel like, okay, I'm going to live with my husband, but the more you live with each other, you realize you can't go back to your mom anytime you want.
Yeah, true.
You just can't go to live with your relatives or anytime you want. So the thing is, it sinks in.
Yeah.
So the next thing is that, for me, you get, when you, after the commitment thing sinks in, I also start to realize like, okay, this is my husband, he has a position in our marriage, and the respect part, though you're usually told wives you should respect your husbands, it sinks in and it comes into being after you stay together for some time. This is because when you're dating, you're more of like buddies, like friends. Okay, we hang out, we do this, you know, there's no that hierarchy sort of. But once you get married and you start living together, you start seeing, okay, this is my husband actually, I'm supposed to respect him. He has like an a higher authority. Yes, authority is the right word. He has higher authority, like guides the way the family should go, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Of course, it doesn't mean you're useless as a lady, but that respect aspect is very important, even in the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah, like it said, I think in Ephesians 5:25-33, I'll write it on the screen somewhere. It tells us that wives should respect your husbands, and husbands should treat their wives well and love them. Yeah, so I think it sinks in more the more you live in together. Yeah, I also realized that the issue of, or rather the magnitude of being told to stand with your man and to be together as a single unit with your man sinks in more, because you realize, okay, you can't be running out there to tell people about your issues. Like the more you get used to each other, you're like, okay, so this is my man, I'm supposed to respect him. If you're having issues, or if you have anything, not even issues, but like you just can't go discussing everything to people about your marriage outside there.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, the more you live in together, the more you create that bond, and then you realize, okay, it's actually good for your family to keep things together, to work things out together. If you have issues, work them out. Even if, for example, imagine you have issues with some people outside there telling you things about your wife or your husband, the first person you should approach to talk about these issues is your partner.
Your partner. Don't forget, one husband, one wife is together.
Yeah, it's not other
it's
people.
One people.
It's not other people coming into. Actually, there's a Bible verse as well that says, two they are joined together, but three strands are stronger.
Yeah, stronger.
3 strands are stronger, and the third strand is actually God. So like when they join wife and husband, the third strand to join them is God. So actually, it also tells us, if you have issues, go to God in prayer, pray, ask God for guidance, even before you think that you want maybe to go to ask your pastor or to ask your friends and stuff like that. You should really take care of your family first.
Yeah, and prayers are always powerful.
Yeah, true.
So the first point is, with time, your partner better.
Yeah.
You know a better version of your partner.
True.
So you get more comfortable to share, to do things with your partner.
Yeah, to be yourself, like your real self.
Yeah, to be your real self with bad things and good things.
Like maybe like when you're dating, you don't pretend, but you want to bring off your best part. Because when you're spending time with someone for a short time, you get to put out your best characters.
Yeah.
But when you live with them, they know the good and the bad. For example,
at the beginning you are shy, very shy. Me, I will be shy, but with time, this shyness will disappear.
Yeah, so you get to know the other person. So this point is very important. Like when you're dating someone, you need to pick up those characters that they try to show you. Because if you see someone is violent when you're dating, it means that when you get married, that character will be worse. Like they'll be very comfortable with you, and they can be the real same person.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
If at the beginning, the bad face, the bad side is coming up, so with years it's gonna be double worse or triple worse.
Yeah, we are not saying that people can't change. Indeed, I think the grace of God is sufficient for people to change. Don't try to say, I'll change this person. Let this person change out of their own initiative, and if they can do that before you get married, before you commit, then it's okay. Because the thing is, once you get married, it's for better, for worse. So you have to put up with those characters for good. Yeah. I also learned along the way that I learned not to feel guilty when my partner takes care of me. This is a personal experience because when we got married, I was actually still a student and I wasn't living here in France. And then after we got married, I had to move to France and I didn't have a job. I wasn't employed at that time. So the thing is, I used to feel guilty when my husband provides for me, maybe because he used to do everything at that time. So I used to feel, oh my God, maybe I'm a burden, because I had gotten used to before taking care of myself being a student, So I think with time, then I realized actually I shouldn't be feeling guilty, because when you make that commitment, it means you and your husband are going to take care of each other. If it was me who had a job and he had to move to my country, I would still have a responsibility to take care of him regardless of whether he had
papers,
a job or
to
not.
help me to do the papers.
Yeah, it's not only about job but other things
other things.
Settling, maybe going to places you don't know. You have to. For us, for example, I had to go with him to many places because he could speak French and I couldn't speak. So at some point I just used to feel like, oh my God, I've disoriented his life. But with time I realized, no, actually that's not the idea of marriage. The idea of marriage is that when you come together, you're going to face challenges together, you're going to do things together.
And by the way, it's worked with me when I was visiting Kenya. I can't speak Swahili, or I can't go to use a matatu to go to this place. I don't know how Kenyan life works, but with time I trust her and I'm okay with it.
So if you find yourself in such a position, don't feel guilty, he's doing things for me. No, you just do the best that you can do. If, for example, you are looking for a job or you are going to school, do the best that you can do and don't feel guilty when they are helping you to settle into that place.
So the next point is, during marriage, you learn to sacrifice and to prioritize for each other.
Exactly.
Like, you want to sacrifice your funny time or
your own personal time.
Your own personal time to be together, for example, to do something together, something constructive.
More important.
More important. For example, I'm watching a movie and Metrin is telling me I want to go out to do some exercises. And me, I was like, no, let me watch my movie. But because of going out, breathe the fresh air, doing some exercises, and so it means stay healthy. So we are together in this marriage and we want to do good things together. Me, I was here on the couch watching movies with bad position, so it's not good. You have to grow in the marriage.
So I think you sacrifice for each other. Like you can sacrifice your own personal time to do things together that are important for you or even for the other couple. The other thing is that you learn to adjust to each other's habits. you know, like when you're starting to live together, then you realize that, okay, they do something in a certain way and I do something in a certain way. Sometimes in the beginning it's kind of hard to adjust, but the more you live together, you realize I'm starting to adapt their ways of doing things, and it's not disturbing me like the way it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
For example, if I was used to, right now currently, Adrian is used to eating Kenyan foods that he never used to eat in the beginning. In the beginning, he was like, ugali,
Ugali is strong,
chapo,
it's too hard for me.
yeah, but nowadays he's like, when are we eating ugali, when are we eating chapo? So those habits of the other, that's just an example, but the other habits, maybe someone who's used to going out every Friday to maybe jog or to go out for coffee, then you realize, okay, you start going out for coffee together and it becomes a habit. You're like, okay, you're also picking up the things that the other person is doing. Yeah, so that's something that has happened for us in this thing.
Yeah. Also, we learn to be patient with each other, like it says in the Holy Bible, in Corinthians 13,
Yeah.
book 1. So let me read. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, is not proud.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient, you have to tolerate your spouse, even if something you are not able to take it.
Yeah.
Let it. Be patient. With time, your anger or your madness will disappear.
Yeah, and it's not easy, especially if there's maybe certain things that they just drive you crazy, or they just make you so impatient. But I think when you go back to the Bible and you read what the Bible says, it gives you reason to try to be patient, and maybe you can try to work around that thing. If maybe doing something together makes you mad, you don't have to do it together.
Yeah.
Also, not saying you can't avoid each other really, but try to find ways in which you can avoid being impatient with each other, or how you can work around it. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, you become a team. The more you live together, you become a natural team. Like you find that when I'm going to hang out with my friends, I'll think of Adrian, we go together. So most of those things you'll be doing them together, and it's really, really natural.
Yes.
So you'll find that if, for example, someone got married and they were your friend before, don't get mad that maybe you don't have as much time as you used to have with them before. Just try to understand that, you know, when a lifestyle changes, and something like marriage is just not any other thing. It is like something that God created, and it's something important. So they have to prioritize it. Not to mean that they can't talk to their friends or they can't go out, but it is a priority, and it takes time to work on it.
Yeah.
So if you're in a position where you are in marriage, don't feel guilty that you're not so much with your friend. Try to create time to catch up and to do things, but don't feel guilty that, okay, nowadays I'm married, I'm not talking to my friends. No. And if you're not married and your friend is married, try to understand them. Maybe check up on them. Don't feel guilty that they didn't reply on time, they replied later, or stuff like that. Yeah. Not only married, but maybe when they get children, it even becomes more busy. You know.
You just have to find the balance.
Yeah, you have to find a balance in your life.
Between all of this, marriage, friends, kids, work.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but
Wait.
just find the good balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lastly, marriage gives you more commitment
Yeah.
to hold. Like when you are single, you are not serious about life. You do these stages, but it's like, I will see later what next.
Yeah.
I will see later what next after getting these degrees.
Yeah.
But during marriage, you are thinking about more plans.
Yeah, like when you're single, you also have plans, I think, but they're not that heavy. Maybe they're heavy, but they're for you.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
when you
for
get
you.
married, you start looking at it from a wider family perspective. You
Yes,
realize if you have responsibilities to take care of and they're not for you, you feel it's kind of fragile, because you don't want to disappoint your children, you don't want them to go hungry, you don't want them to go without housing. So the heaviness of the commitment is real when you're married.
The commitment is ultimate.
Yeah, so guys, those are the points that we had for you today. We hope that you enjoyed, and we also hope that you learned something.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to write them down in the comment section, or if you have a request for any video that you'd like us to do. Yeah, and of course, if we have more points in future, we'll definitely come to bring you.
Yeah.
Please take care of yourself, keep safe, keep praying. Actually, the most important thing at this time is know Jesus. Keep praying, because that's the Saving our souls is the
Saving,
most
yeah.
important thing that can ever happen.
Yeah.
Both on earth, for the life here on earth and for the life after. So take care, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
See you.
Bye bye.